Lesson 6-14. Rename decimals as fractions. By the end of today's lesson, you will be able to express decimals as fractions or mixed numbers in simplest form. Make sure you have a piece of paper and a pencil ready to jot down notes and work right along with me. So to rename a decimal as a fraction, you read the given decimal, then determine the denominator of the fraction, write an equivalent fraction, and then simplify as necessary. So let's see what that looks like with our example. We have 0.35, 35 hundredths is our example. So we read the given decimal, 35 hundredths. The denominator of the fraction would be 100 because we said hundredths. So we would write that 35 over 100. And then we'll need to simplify that because I can tell by looking at that 5 goes in there, that this is not in simplest form. So we would divide them both by 5, the top and the bottom, and that would equal, so 35 divided by 5 equals 7, and 100 divided by 5 equals 20. So our decimal, 35 hundredths, is 7/20ths. That would be our decimal as a fraction. Okay, let's try another one together. Here we have 0.63. So our first step, remember, is to read the given decimal. So that would be 63 hundredths. So since we said hundredths, our denominator would need to be 100. So we'll put that there, 100. And 63 would go right above it. 63, that's a prime number, so that's already in simplest form, and we're all done. We can also tell what our denominator is going to be by counting the decimal places. We have 2 places after the 0, which would mean we need to have, we have 2 places after the decimal, which means we would need to have 2 zeros down here. So that's another way of figuring that out. Okay, I want you now to try 0.05. Remember, I'm not going to say that in the correct form because otherwise I'd be giving the answer away. So go ahead and work that one on your own and come back and check your answer. Okay, so I have 0.05. I go, that's 2 places after, so it's 5 hundredths. So I would put my 5 over 100. But I know that's not in simplest form because I can divide them both by 5. So 5 goes in there 1 time, and 5 goes into 100 20 times. So 1/20th would be that in simplest form. Okay, sometimes we have a mixed number or a decimal with a whole number that we need to write into a mixed number because this is a whole number, so that's going to turn into a mixed number. So we're not going to do anything with that 9, so I'm just going to put it right here because that's already ready. Now we need to figure out what fraction goes after that. So this decimal is read as 9 8 thousandths. So I put my 9 over there. Now I have 8 thousandths. So that's written like this, 8 thousandths. They're both even numbers. I could divide them by 2, but I know that 8 happens to go into 1,000, so I'm going to divide them both by 8 to get it in simplest form. Divided by 8 and divided by 8. And I get 1 and 125. 8 goes into 1,125 times. So there's my fraction in simplest form. So now I put it back up with my whole number, 9 and 1 over 125. Okay, I want you to, or let's work through one more together first. Let's do 4 and 9 hundredths. Okay, So there's our whole number, 4. So we're going to bring that over and put it here ready to go. Now we have our decimal that we need to turn into a fraction. So I said 9/100ths, just like this. And 9 and 100 don't have any common factors. That's already in simplest form. So then I would just bring that right on over here. 4 and 9/100ths. Okay, I want you to try this one on your own, 8.7. Pause the video and come back and check. Okay, so for this one, my whole number is 8. And then I have 8 and 7/10. So 7/10 would be written as 7/10. Well, 7's a prime number, and it doesn't go into 10 evenly, so that fraction is already in simplest form. So it would be 8 and 7/10. Okay, go ahead and pause the video, rewatch any parts that you need to, or go over your notes, and then head on over and finish your math lesson for today.